Actually, I am originally from Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
So my dad, we moved here back in 2000. My dad was attending ORU, so he packed us all up, my mom, my siblings, and we came here, like I said, in 2000, and I was 14 years old and have stayed here ever since.
That's I guess a rough year to make a change, right? When you're 14, you already have friends in school. Like when you want to be a parent or you're moving, if I was 14 years old and I had to pick up and move from, New York or wherever to Oklahoma, like that must have been tough.
So there was two pieces to it. So it was a little bit tough to leave a few friends that I had, but it was such a big culture change from where I was. I did grow up in a neighborhood that was a little bit more on the impoverished side. We were in poverty where we were living. A lot of our neighbors didn't have a lot. So my parents did a really good job with, I guess, sheltering us and keeping us, still being children, where we were living. So it was definitely a change to move to Tulsa because of where I came from. So thinking about coming from, I guess what I would call it is the hood, and moving to suburban Oklahoma was definitely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a welcomed change when you got here?
Yeah, I was definitely welcome to change. I was a little bit nervous due to, the big change, coming here, not knowing, thinking of people were saying it was horses and buggies and, this and that. I was like, oh my gosh, are we going backwards? So obviously when I moved here, it was a lot different than what I expected. So a lot more positive than anything.
We probably went to kind of a similar thing then, right? Me coming here and culture shock and everything, and you coming here, and you're right. It's so different, right? Especially, even within the same country, just coming from Buffalo, New York, big city, to quote rural Oklahoma, which rural compared to obviously where you grew up.
Right.
Not now people think Tulsa's not rural. Well, it probably was compared to when you got here in 2000, right?
It has changed a lot. Yes. A lot of new businesses and buildings, especially on the 71st area. I live over there near that area. So we started off with nothing there, and watching it build was very interesting. So totally different from back in 2000.
Yeah. So you dad packs everybody up and he comes to school down here. What was the reason for him coming to school down here and not anywhere else?
So my dad is a minister as well. So God told him that to move to Oklahoma to pursue his education here at ORU. While he was here, he did receive 2 master's degrees, one in divinity and one in education. So he is currently a teacher, but he also has a nonprofit organization called Esteem, which is helping youth and young children, especially the Black and brown children, with education and other things like tutoring and stuff like that.
So you grew up then as a child of the church, right? With dad being involved in that stuff and a pastor's kid, quote, pastor's kid or whatever it is,
PK.
right? PK, what was that like coming to Tulsa and being a part of that and seeing dad go to school and kind of further his education and I guess always strive to be better, right? Not many people who have fathers that have a family want to move you half around the country to pursue education, which is quite a big thing to do.
It is, and I feel like I have my dad's spirit, and he has instilled that into me because of who he is and how he is driven. This is the goal, this is what I'm going to do, and he does it and pursues it. So, what was the question?
Just how that was, seeing your dad and growing up, I guess, watching your dad pursue education at an age that, he's a father and he has a family.
Right. As a child, I didn't understand it as much. I was like, oh, he's still in school. Why is he still in school? And all this stuff. But I didn't understand the depths of bachelor's and master degrees and things of that nature. So as I grew up and looking back, I'm like, wow, how phenomenal is that? I want to do that too. So the one thing I do want to mention is that my dad, he had the dreams and visions to do certain things. And, my mom, she's the one who kind of stayed with us and had 4 kids. And, she actually put a lot of her dreams to the side in the back burner because, she was a mom.
Sure.
So, seeing that and seeing, my dad go for his dreams and my mom putting hers on pause because of children made me want to do things differently because I'm like, hey, isn't there a way you can be a mom and still pursue for your dreams? So that's kind of what kind kind of drove me to, what I'm doing today.
Yeah. So, which we'll definitely get to that because I love that. That's really cool to find out that, from that reason that you do what you do today. That's really neat. And I'm sure your mum's super proud. But so where did you go to high school in Tulsa?
I went to Union High School.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that, that's quite a big high school for this area, but compared to your high school in Buffalo, was that big?
So I left in 8th grade. So yes, Union is much bigger than where I came from. So yeah, we only had maybe 2 8th grade classrooms or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Union has a whole school for just catering to 8th graders. So so it was definitely a difference and pretty shocking. Not just with that, but like, the whole culture of like my school was predominantly African American. Coming here, it was like predominantly Caucasian. So trying to find my footing and finding my place and finding my identity was a challenge in the very beginning. But I was able to find some great friends that we were able to wrap around each other.
Did you dive into, I guess, like the union athletics and like the whole like we're going to football games and all and be a part? Because it's a whole it's its own thing, and
that's its own culture and its own. Yes. No, I was actually in drama. Okay. I was one of those drama kids. So from 8th grade being in drama class to high school being in drama. So
so from that, then, do you think? I know you just mentioned previously before we started recording that you went to OSU. What leads you to go to OSU, and what are you thinking? Are you thinking, mentioned drama, you're going to pursue drama at OSU, or was it something else?
No, so I did college a non-traditional way. So I did through TCC, and then OSU Tulsa, and then NSU Broken Arrow for my master's degree. So I have always been in the mindset and the heart of giving with, not just Boss Mom Crew, but as a child. Like I was saying, I did live in a place that had poverty. A lot of our neighbors didn't have much. I would literally take food and clothes from my home to give to others as like a young child. So I've always had that heart for the community and for others. So my bachelor's degree is in human development and family science with a focus on child and family service. So I started my professional career, working as a teacher, and then became like a case manager, working at like places like DVIS, which is domestic violence, and Tulsa Educare as a family advocate. So I'm just being in that field of helping and serving others. Yeah. So and then I pursued my master's for education and. Still working in education.